here we go again. This team ain't gon' never win. I'm ashamed to be a fan. Got me lying to my friends. Louis belt straight to ass. That cannot complete a pass. CD Lamb been playing trash. Man, how long is this gonna last?
Why do I feel like this happens every week? Welcome to Breaking Down the Boys, a new special segment show here from the minds of the NFC East Unleashed Podcast. I'm your host, Griffin. I hate Jerry Jones, Sebunia, and today we're going to be breaking down the Cowboys' embarrassing, I can't even think of the words to describe it, embarrassing, unacceptable, inexcusable loss to the Detroit Lions this past Sunday. The Lions have not beaten Dallas since 2013. And they decided to do it this year. The Lions beat the Cowboys with a score of 47-9. We scored 3 field goals. Not a touchdown. Not even a touchdown. 3 field goals. It was 27-6 at halftime. Anyways, I gotta do what the show talks about, and that's break down this game. We get the ball first, right? Cowboys, we're in the first quarter here. It's a beautiful Sunday. We have not won at Jerry's World this whole season. All right? We're 0-2 there. We elect to get the ball first. We win the toss. We get the ball first. We march down the field in a couple of bad plays, and we're ending up on the board first with a score of 3 points, a quick Brandon Aubrey field goal. And Detroit marches right down the field and scores a David Montgomery touchdown. 16 yards. We missed more tackles than I think the Eagles did in that playoff loss to the Buccaneers. We had him, by the way. Like, we had him down, and then he gets up and runs for 16 yards, and then I don't know. We get the ball next. We march down the field. We're in the red zone. And what does Dak Prescott do? Doesn't connect with CD Lamb. And he throws an interception to let me get the thing. Oh, God. Which one was it? It was Kirby Joseph, I think. Yeah. Offensively, this game for the Cowboys, oh my God. They picked us off 3 times. They picked off Cooper Rush once. And they had 2 fumbles against us. Malcolm Rodriguez caused one, and the other was caused by Terry and Arnold. Thank God the bye week is this week, otherwise the Cowboys would be cooked. Dak Prescott, 17 for 33, 178 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. But for rushing, Rico Dowdle had 25 yards. Yeah. CD Lamb, 7 catches for 89 yards. His longest, I think, was that one-hand catcher, and he never caught the ball again. Yeah. Offensively, holy crap. Defensively, oh my God. This was just so bad. Now, obviously, defensively, we are, missing multiple people, including DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons, obviously DeRon Bland, and Eric Kendricks, who should be coming back. But, man, this defense just needs so much help right now. And I don't know what to do. Why was Ryan Flournoy playing on the defense? Okay. Is this... Yeah, I saw this last week, too. Okay, whatever. Now, one play I want to mention is I think this was in the second quarter, and Kevontae Turpin does a nice fake and almost takes it for the touchdown, but gets pushed out of the line out of the boundaries, and then ends up, Dak takes a sack. But real quickly, I do just want to say, man, prayers up to Aiden Hutchinson, man. I get why they didn't show that, what's it called? That replay of that injury. Oh, my God. Basically, if you don't know, Aiden Hutchinson was making a sack. He makes a sack, and then as he's wrapping around Dak's leg, another Lions defender basically runs right into his leg and basically breaks it. And he is out on season-ending injury, which just sucked because he was leading the league in sacks, and he looked like he was going to win Defensive Player of the Year. And, I mean, that's just something that, is just heartbreaking, honestly, for Detroit. And I do hope that, obviously, it all goes well for them in the end. Yeah, just defensively, I mean, Sam Laporta had one reception for 52 yards. They tried to throw the ball to Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell. What? How do you let that happen? They really were like, all right, dude. They're not. Nah. Literally, none of their receivers had more than 5 receptions. The one who led the team in yards, Jamison Williams, 3 catches for 76 yards. David Montgomery cooked us. David Montgomery. Jared Goff, 18 for 25, 72% completion rating, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. This was just a bad game. And after the game, Jerry Jones gets interviewed, and he's, a lot of reporters talking about, is there going to be a switch at coaching? Is Mike McCarthy going to be, out? And Jerry Jones says, do you think I'm stupid? Which, I mean, I get it. Maybe Mike McCarthy doesn't make it to next season, but I think firing him in the middle of the season would just be another dumb move. And the same, we'll see what happens tonight with the Jets after they just fired Robert Saleh. But, one guy I was surprised who did not have a good day was Hall of Fame candidate Zach Martin. It was the low. He had a 28.3 overall grade, his lowest mark of his career. He just did not have a good game. The offensive line was just not good, and Tyler Guyton. See, I never really figured out why they did this. They took Tyler Guyton. He was out for the whole game, right? He was available to play. They didn't put him in. They moved Tyler Smith to left tackle, and they put T.J. Bass in at left guard, which, no, that's just not something you do. Now, obviously, we knew, coming in that, we were going to have, obviously, Terrence Steele. But, I mean, T.J. Bass, he's not a great guy in terms of his play. So right here, Jerry Jones, his 82nd birthday yesterday. Dallas 3-0 on the road for the first time since, I believe it was 2016. 2016, 2014, something like that. This home loss was the worst home loss since Jerry Jones has been in here, and the worst at AT&T Stadium. And Jerry Jones started in 1989, and the AT&T Stadium opened in 2009. Yeah, this game was just not good. Prescott did not have a good game, and I think that you have to look at it as, okay, we're missing a ton of guys on offense and defense, obviously, but I just want to point out Dallas's red zone offense. Oh my God, it's abysmal. We can't put it in the end zone like we were able to last time, and it's just insane. I don't know. It's yeah. This is one of the worst teams we've ever had, and I could see us now. I don't really I mean, obviously it's only week 6. We're going to see what happens. But this is just a game where you look at it and you show what your defense really is, which is an embarrassment. So hopefully next week, or I guess in 2 weeks, we have Deron Bland, Micah Parsons back, Eric Kendricks back, and hopefully before the trade deadline they do try to trade for somebody. It's almost inexcusable that they can't trade for somebody. Devontae Adams going for a second-round pick. Now, I get not picking up Devontae Adams, but they need to get Amari Cooper or something again, man. His cap, I believe, is at $600,000. That's nothing. Prescott said, yeah, simple as that. I don't want to say I have to play perfect by any means, but I've got to play better than I did and close to perfect, especially when you're playing a team like that. We got to be better, simply. And obviously going into the bye week, I mean, we're 3-3 after 6 games, and with a long season to go, I've been in worse situations. I guess you can say in terms of when we got it going, teams that got on the streak. I think about that 2018. That it is about us sticking together. They need to figure out a run game. One of my key things was potentially trading for Jaguars running back Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne has not been playing his greatest in Jacksonville, and honestly, Tank Bigsby is having a better career than him. And if we just look at Tank Bigsby and his stats, I mean, he's just had, just a really great year. He was drafted last year in the round 3. His 2024 rushing, he has 297 yards. Okay. So, let me see if I can look here. And last year, he had 132 yards. For the whole 2023 season, had 122 yards. Now, he had a 0 carry game against Cleveland, which should not have been their first game. So in Miami, he had 73 yards, which was, a good game from him there. And besides the 2 games where they have lost significantly, which was Cleveland and obviously the blowout to Buffalo, he's ran for almost, 50 yards, and except for the one to the Bears. So for 3 out of the 6 games, he's ran for over 70 yards. First game against Miami, he ran for 73. Fourth game against Houston, he ran for 90. And the 5th game, he ran for 101. I think that the fact that Travis Etienne, when you look at him as well, I'm going to go and pull up his stats here. Travis Etienne Jr. He has 230 yards. okay. He had 44 against Miami. He had 52 against Cleveland, 68 against Buffalo, 50 against Houston, 17 against Indianapolis, and -1 against Chicago just this past Sunday. So when you look at that, he's not having a great year, I will say, and I think that he could benefit better. So that's a trade option. Obviously, Amari Cooper is up there too, and then hopefully trying to trade for somebody on the defense. I've been saying for the longest time, Xavier Howard is still out there. He's still a free agent. He has not been picked up. He is still a free agent. I believe he's like 30-something years old. I want to say he is... Okay, well now I can't find him because I don't know his name. Yeah, Xavier. Okay, not you. Well, I just found him. Xavier Howard. Right? Oh. Yeah. So he is. Right? Yeah. He is a free agent. He has not been picked up. And honestly, it's just, I mean, he's a good quarterback, you know? I'm trying to take a look at this guy's full stats. Last year, he was okay. The year prior, he was also okay. He hasn't really had, I mean, his last good season was 2021, looks like. Which, I mean, is not that, far away. And with a good, when you need the depth at cornerback now, you can get a guy who's basically like a Stephon Gilmore, kind of like an add-on for Stephon Gilmore, like a kind of a replacement. He's 31 years old, which is not, terrible. And I think this would be a great pickup. And so those are my three kind of guys that I would target if I was the GM, but I mean, come on, man, it's Jerry Jones. What are we expecting? Like, happy birthday, Jerry! Congratulations. Now figure out how to fix this team. I'd really appreciate that. So yeah, obviously Travis Etienne, Xavier Howard, and Amari Cooper, who are all good options there. And going back to what I said about how Jerry Jones commented on not switching coaches, I do think that is a smart idea. Now, if the season starts to regress really badly, I could see him firing Mike McCarthy in the middle of the season. Remember, Mike McCarthy, when he was with Green Bay, he did get fired in the middle of the season after they were not doing too hot. And kind of the coach I'd want to bring in, I know a lot of people are saying Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, he wanted to do things by himself, and Jerry Jones is not going to let that do that. Robert Kraft let him have that kind of freedom in New England. He let him, pick up people, draft people. Jerry Jones is not going to let him do that. Jerry Jones is not going to let him pick up people. The drafting people, yes, but he's not going to let him pick up people. I'm also looking at potentially moving Al Harris to a head coach. Maybe he'd be an interim head coach. I don't think Mike Zimmer is the answer. I think Mike Zimmer's probably going to go after this season. And I think that, you need a good head coach either on the... You kind of basically need both right now. Mike McCarthy last year was this offensive mastermind who just cooked up a bunch of schemes to, outplay a bunch of teams. And this year, he's just not been doing that. So when I look at coaches, I look at, okay... Maybe Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions, although that one's a little bit skeptical. Maybe Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator up in Minnesota. Maybe even Robert Saleh being a defensive coordinator. I think Robert Saleh being a defensive coordinator for the Cowboys would not be terrible. I think that Robert Saleh, he probably won't be a head coach again, but I think him as a defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys would be at least more beneficial than I think, having a kind of a young guy than, Mike Zimmer. And obviously Mike Zimmer, I had a lot of respect for Mike Zimmer coming into the season. I do not have any of that for that now. Mike Zimmer, obviously him in Minnesota, he was, kind of an up and down coach. He had a couple great seasons in Minnesota where the defense played lights out, and a couple where it was kind of like, but yeah, we were talking, me and Amir, we were talking about what I kind of want to see out of this Cowboys team is they don't really have an identity right now, right? They're looking for the identity on offense, and obviously, hopefully, Brandon Cooks is going to be able to come back. I think he's going to be able to come back either for San Francisco or the week after, so that would be for Atlanta. But right now, the Cowboys sit at 3-3. They're heading into the bye. Obviously, I'll let you guys know how the bye week went for them. I'll let you guys know on any updates there. But yeah, I would just say to the Cowboys that they need to find an identity and just kind of get it together. That's all I gotta say. You got a lot riding on you after this huge loss, and you just need to do a lot better than you have. Obviously, I'm going to kind of go over a couple takeaways from that thing. No, I'm not. Okay. Thanks. But yeah, I think that so CeeDee Lamb was talking about how the Cowboys will be fine. Bye week will definitely help. I think that bye week will definitely help the Cowboys. I think it will get them healthy. I do expect Bland to play against the Niners on Sunday Night Football. I think that Zach Martin is going to do a lot better. And I think that they need to keep that offensive line with Tyler Guyton. I think they need to do that because they play a lot better with Tyler Guyton. Now, I know he gets a lot of holding penalties, and that's something he's just got to work on. But it's better than a holding penalty is essentially better than getting sacked almost every play, which would be what happens with TJ Bass. Obviously, Terrence Steele, he's not the greatest. They're going to have to work on that, hopefully in the offseason, finding themselves a solidified right tackle or maybe even in the draft. But yeah, I don't know. This is going to be an interesting kind of bye week. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see if they trade for anybody. We're going to see if they make any moves. We're going to see if they drop people. And I do expect Parsons to hopefully recover from that ankle sprain sooner or later. And anyways, that's going to be it for the first episode of Breaking Down the Boys. I hope you guys did enjoy this. Let me know if you'd like to see more of these. And just one final message from me.
Man, here we go again. This team ain't gonna never win. I'm ashamed to be a fan. Got me lying to my friends. Louis belt straight to ass. That cannot complete a pass. CeeDee Lamb been playing trash. Man, how long is this gonna last?
Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode, and I will catch you in the next one. Go Cowboys.